Hi, I'm Regina Huber, and I'm the CEO and founder of Transform Your Performance. I'm a multicultural transformational leadership coach and consultant. I'm an inspirational speaker and author of the book Speak Up, Stand Out, and Shine. I'm also the author of a D&I white paper, which is available for download on my website at www.transformyourperformance.com. And my signature process, Powerful Leadership Transformation, or PLT. Of course, we will need to focus on some very specific parts of it, because in one session like this, I can only scratch the surface of this very rich process. And it includes a lot of different exercises usually, which I teach in several days. But I do want to share some of these exercises with you, and I'll also do my best to make this meaningful to you so you can walk away with lots of value and great content. First, let's cover a few practical aspects. We want to get a notepad and a pen because we've got a lot to cover today. And we also know that what you write down will be easier to achieve. And we'll also do some practical exercises, some of which are in writing. So, are you ready? Let's dive right in. Let's start with the concept of leadership. What does leadership mean to you? Reflect on it for a moment. Maybe jot down some notes. What does leadership mean to you? I think we all agree that leadership doesn't come with a leadership position. It's an attitude, and you can be a leader and show your leadership potential in any capacity. If you have leadership capabilities, and I'm sure you do, you can be a leader in your family, your community, your team, even without being the formal team leader, without being officially appointed. Yes, you can be a leader as an entrepreneur, as an artist. The most powerful leaders don't only lead by words. The words are, of course, important. The most powerful leaders lead through actions. They lead by example. They lead by being a role model through their attitude. Yeah. Now, many of us probably don't just want to be leaders. We want to be transformational leaders. We want to be inclusive leaders. So it's important to define what the traits of transformational and inclusive leaders are. A Deloitte study from 2016 identified 6 signature traits of inclusive leaders. They are commitment, courage, cognizance of bias, curiosity, cultural intelligence, and collaboration. The transformation I want to bring about focuses on the personal transformation of women and youth, on female advancement, on more inclusive organizations, on communities. And my transformational coaching approach is about creating that transformation on a personal level, helping my coaching clients transform into more powerful creators of their own realities, their careers, their success as business owners, whatever it is for them, right? Help them be more visible. So transformation can be something different for different people, of course. And transformational leadership can also be defined in different ways. I invite you to think about what transformational leadership means to you. It's also important to remember that leadership starts with self. Yes, leadership is about leading others, leading organizations, communities, societies, countries, but it must start with leading ourselves. Self-awareness. Now, what do I mean by self-awareness? Self-awareness is achieved through introspection, through self-reflection, through self-discovery, self-observation. Yes, and then once we are more self-aware, we can transform, and we can also be more powerful leaders and more transformational leaders. Now, self-reflection and self-discovery is about knowing my strengths, also knowing my shortcomings. It's about being familiar with my inner narrative, my beliefs, both conscious and subconscious, my biases, my thought patterns, my programming. I'm going to talk more about that a bit later, and how these biases and beliefs inform my choices, my decisions. Yes. Self-awareness is also about knowing what my triggers are. What triggers me? What are my values? What is the impact my behavior has on others? And also, of course, knowing that the way I perceive my own behavior isn't necessarily the same way it's perceived by others. Yes, it's also knowing that my words might be interpreted differently by different people. They might not mean the same to them as they mean to me. So we have to be aware of all these different things so that we can be powerful and effective leaders. Another important aspect of self-awareness and of your goals as a leader is to have a vision for yourself. Yes, do you know what your vision is? Why do you have that vision? Did you ever write that vision down? Because if not, that's really important. It's proven that what we write down is easier to achieve, but not only that, it also forces you to be more accurate, to articulate more clearly what you really want to achieve. And we want leaders to be visionary. So you have to have a vision as a leader. Leaders have a vision, they have dreams. Remember how some of the greatest leaders in this world said, I have a dream. That's a vision. So we're not going to spend too much time on your vision, as it's been covered by many people, and you can find a lot about it on the internet. But I do want you to remind yourself that it's important to have a written vision. It's not enough to have your vision on your mind. You must write it down, or make a vision board if you prefer, if you're more like a visual person. But even if you make a vision board, I still recommend to write your vision down, because it forces you to articulate clearly and to really think about it. Yes, and then think about why you have this vision. What do you want to do? What you want to do? Why do you want to achieve what you want to achieve? What's your driver? Yes, why do you want to have this in your life? And that can be very personal. It doesn't always have to be an impact related why. It can be just because you want a certain lifestyle. That's totally okay. Allow yourself to be selfish with your why, because in the end, it's what will keep you going when the going gets tough. And then another important question is your vision aligned with your purpose? What is that even, your purpose? I define purpose as follows. It's personal growth. Yes, it's my own growth, my learnings, and my lessons in life. It is my contribution to human evolution through my personal growth. And third, it is using my life to make a positive impact with the unique talents and gifts and strengths that I have been given. We are all different for a reason. We're going to talk about that again later, but there is a deep meaning behind our strengths and our talents, and they are related to our purpose. Oftentimes, it's also our passion that's related to our purpose. Yeah? So think about what your purpose is. But first of all, think about, how do you define purpose? Does my definition make sense to you? Maybe not. Maybe you want a different definition. That's totally fine. Find your definition of purpose. And the next question is, what's your purpose in concrete terms? Once you have a definition, think about what that really means in what we call the real world, right? What could that look like for you? If you're not clear on it, spend some time to meditate on it, to reflect on it. What would you like to see changed in the world? How can you contribute to this change? Maybe become a role model within that concept of change you want to create. Because as you know, it's important to be the change you want to see in the world. Purpose is, of course, a huge topic, all by itself. So we'll leave it at that here, but I wanted to also mention it because it's really important for the rest of this work. Okay, maybe take some time on your own and work on your purpose. Now, let's focus back on developing our personal strengths and leadership. And that's where the powerful leadership transformation, or PLT, comes in. Before we can create any significant change, we must focus on our mindset and our heart set, as I call it. Step into a self-empowering mindset. No one can truly empower you but yourself. People talk so much about empowering other people, but that's not possible. All we can do is give people the tools and the guidance and the resources to empower themselves, to guide them into self-empowerment. So how can you empower yourself? That's what I want to help you with today. The truth is, our power is already inside of us. We're just not always connected with it. And when we're not connected, it's as if we are trying to watch TV without plugging in the power cord. Power energy cannot flow. So we must first plug in our inner power cord. We do that energetically, which we'll talk about later, but we can also do it through our mindset and our mentality. And we do it through our heart set. More about heart set in a bit. People often say, just believe in yourself. That's more easily said than done. Because from very young on, we learn that we are not enough. Our parents criticize us. Our teachers criticize us, often with the best intentions in mind. They tell us, don't do this, don't do that, or you can't do this, or be careful, all these different things, right? So we are educated out of using our potential. We are taught limitation. We are told we're limited, we're not enough. But that's a big lie. You are limitless. Your potential is truly unlimited. So when people say, step into your full potential, that's not even possible. Because your potential grows with you every time you step further into it. Yes, it grows with you. And especially for us women, it's so hard to perceive that we are unlimited because our cultures, or at least most of the cultures, limit us more than men. And we tend to be far too self-critical and too perfectionist. We want to please everybody because that's how we are raised. We are raised to please. But that's not really who we're meant to be. We are meant to be limitless. You are meant to be limitless. So before we step into this limitlessness, it's a good idea to first take a step back and reflect on what that really means. You've probably heard that what you can imagine, you can create or you can achieve. Yes? When you understand the concept of being a creator, the creator of your own reality, of your own life, of how you see life and how you experience life, the concept of limitlessness makes a lot of sense. We can mentalize it. Once you understand this concept of being the creator of your life, it's easy to understand your limitlessness with your mind. But do we really live it? Do we believe it on a deep level? Do we embody it? Do we believe it even with our subconscious mind? So many people talk about mindset and about a success mindset, but too often they stay just at the surface of what that really means, because they don't go beyond the conscious. But the truth is, 95% or even more than that of our behavior is driven by our subconscious. So we think we're in control, but we're really not. What's in control is our subconscious programming, our conditioning. And this conditioning or programming is like a computer script. It's filled up with all that data that's constantly bombarding us from all sides. Our parents, our families, our teachers, our culture, religion, TV commercials, the collective unconscious and conscious, all the world that surrounds us, yes, even the energy that surrounds us and affects us at every single moment. From the moment we are born, and we actually already bring some of this data already with us in our genes when we are born as babies. In our genes from past generations, our ancestors, yes, or maybe from other lifetimes. We may have different beliefs about that, but the fact is we are not born as a clean slate, as so many people want us to believe. We come with some baggage already as little babies. That's the truth. But then it gets more serious after that, because as babies, we're still quite limitless compared to when we become adults. We become conditioned in so many ways. As I said before, through our upbringing, our parents, school, religion, culture, the world that surrounds us, our experiences, the collective conscious and subconscious. And this programming pretty much keeps us on autopilot, and it controls our thoughts and our behaviors. Unless we take a step back and then we take the steering wheel and we take control. We become the observers of our thoughts, of our programming. We become aware of it. Yes, that requires a lot of self-observation and introspection, self-reflection, which then leads us to self-awareness. That requires practice. Now, as you know, we form beliefs based on our experiences and our thoughts. A belief is a combination of a thought and a feeling. We also learn fear. We become more fearful through our experiences and through what we're told, like all these warnings. Be careful, you will hurt yourself, da da da. You hear all these examples all the time, right? And we say them ourselves to little children. I catch myself all the time too, and then I take a step back and say, okay, what did I just say? Was this really appropriate in this moment, or was it just too much warning? And some of the conditioning is, of course, important for survival and for being functional in life. It keeps us alive, for being functional in society. But a lot of it is tremendously limiting. Unless, of course, we are privileged enough to grow up in a home and in a household, in a school, where people teach us self-empowerment, which is pretty much the exception to this day. I certainly didn't grow up with that. The problem is that so much of this programming is subconscious or unconscious. So our behavior becomes driven by beliefs we don't even know we have. How can we then find out what limiting beliefs we have, what disempowering belief systems drive our behavior? Well, we look at our patterns, both our thought patterns and our behavioral patterns. And our triggers, what triggers us? Yes, this usually leads us to our subconscious stuff, all that baggage underneath. Because our conscious is just the tip of the iceberg, those 5% that drive our behavior. It's really important to remember that and recognize how our lives are created. And do you want to be become a more conscious creator of your life, or do you want to stay an unconscious creator of your life? Because you create your life every single second anyway, if you want that or not. That's just how it works. Yeah. So we have to become the observers of our thoughts and feelings. We think about 80,000 thoughts a day, and how much of that do you think is repetitive? Well, it's 90%. 90% of these thoughts are of the same nature as our thoughts the day before. So the question is, how much of this repetitiveness, of those repetitive thoughts, are then empowering? And how much of them are disempowering, limiting? The truth is that based on what we learn, the fears that are instilled in us and so on, for most people, the disempowering or limiting portion of those 90% is much higher than the empowering one. And that's what can keep us stuck. That's why we often work so hard, but still see very little progress. Have you ever experienced this? Then you may want to work on your mindset. Yes, do you really believe deep down that you can achieve what you want to achieve? What are the limiting beliefs that may stand in the way of that? One way to uncover subconscious limiting beliefs is to observe our thought patterns and our behavioral patterns, as I said earlier, without judging them. That's important. Yes, don't judge them, just observe them. And once you've uncovered those limiting beliefs and emotions, or at least some of them, the question is, can you let them go? Are you willing to let them go? When would you be willing to let them go? Now? Yeah, so do this exercise. Become the observer of your thoughts. Write them down. What are your fears? What are your disempowering emotions? Yes, emotions and feelings should not be suppressed, of course. They have a really important function in life. But once they become our constant companions, once they hang around too long, once we cling to them and hang on to them and they linger, that's when they can become disempowering. Now, let's talk about vibrations a little bit, and because feelings and emotions create vibrations, they create vibrational energy, yes, or are vibrational energy, I should say. Now, let's talk about that a little bit. One of the lowest and most debilitating vibrations is guilt. Have you ever been feeling guilty about something for too long? That guilt needs to go, ladies. It needs to be released now. Don't hold on to it anymore. It's not serving you. Yeah, it's keeping you smaller than you really are. Guilt has only a very short-term temporary function. It's a function to not repeat the same mistake. Yes, that's it. Then we need to let it go. Okay? Yes? Done. But back to creating more empowering thoughts and beliefs. You've certainly heard of affirmations, but when you say an affirmation that your subconscious programming does not believe, then it will reject that affirmation, that statement. And it stops right there, and it can even be counterproductive. And your affirmations become ineffective, yes? So a way around this is to ask an empowering what-if question, as I call it. For example, you may want to affirm, I am rich, I am wealthy. But if your subconscious doesn't believe that because of its programming and because of what your conscious mind is seeing right now in your current experience, maybe you're broke right now, yes? So then your subconscious will contradict that affirmation. It will just say, haha, you wish, right? I don't see that for you right now. And your statement, your affirmation may actually be counterproductive. So sometimes it's better to turn it into a question. It's more effective. For example, you could turn this statement of I am rich into a positive what if question. What if I could be wealthier? What if I could build a wealthier life for myself? What if I could bring in some money next week? What could that look like? Your brain will be inspired to immediately look for an answer, to create an image of what this could look like, to even create a mini visualization sometimes. Also, when you ask questions, your subconscious will look for an answer, a solution. So take a minute to write down 3 disempowering thoughts or beliefs or emotions that you have and that you would like to move out of, and turn them around into a positive, empowering what-if question. What did this feel like? Keep doing this exercise every single day. Lifelong conditioning takes time to reverse, okay? It's an ongoing process, always a step forward, steadily, every single day, because we don't stop growing all our lives. We don't stop learning, yes? So stop doubting yourself and start believing in yourself by tapping into your limitlessness every single day. Imagine what you could do if you were truly limitless, unlimited. Write your ideal vision and visualize it every single day. Put some emotion into your visualization. That's how Olympic athletes win their gold medals. And they have been doing that for decades. So this is proven, yes, by visualizing success, training both physically and mentally. That's what athletes do, the most successful ones at least. Visualization is a powerful tool that can bridge the gap from where we are to where we want to be, from what we want to what we can achieve. There are many experiments and studies about this with basketball players, with piano players. Check them out on the internet. That emotion that we need for our visualizations to make them most effective, those sensations, feelings, it what brings me to the topic of heart set. You have about 40,000 brain-like cells in your heart. These are sensory neurons, yes? And that's why we also often say we have a heart brain. These neurons learn, think, and remember independently of your cranial brain. And that's really important to know. A lot of people don't even know that. It means that we make every single experience twice, through our heart, through our heart brain, and through our cranial brain. Your heart is about your intuition. It has a lot of intelligence and wisdom. And it doesn't use logic, which sometimes can be a benefit, an advantage. It has no fear, no doubt, no interfering, limiting thoughts. Yeah, so when you follow your heart, as we often say, you become more courageous. In fact, the words heart and courage in many languages have the same root. Like in French, for example, cœur and courage, or in Spanish, corazón, coraje, or in Portuguese, coração, coragem, in Italian, cuore, coraggio, and even in German, which is my native language, we have an old word for courageous, which is beherzt, and beherzt is related to Herz, which means heart in German. Now, your heart and your courage are bonded together in a deep relationship. So when you're in your heart, you can be more courageous. It's easier to find that courage to do things, to take action despite the fear. Because courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is to do it anyway, as you know. So it makes sense to follow your heart. We hear that all the time. Follow your heart. Well, that's an amazing idea, but how do we do that? Yeah. Is it easy for you to follow your heart, your intuition? Or is it hard? Is it hard for you to trust your intuition? Accessing your intuition requires practice. It requires stillness. It requires listening inside, looking inside. It, it requires taking time to listen within. And the magic happens when your heart, brain, and your brain in your head become coherent, when they work together, when they become aligned, when they work together in harmony. That's when the magic happens. We can't cover all the ways to align and to harmonize your heart and your brain today, but I want to teach you how to listen to your heart more easily, how, even though you may already know it, but really, take a moment to learn this exercise. It's really simple. So start by closing your eyes and by directing your focus inward, and then take a couple of deep breaths. Start with breathing deep into your belly first, and take a couple of deep belly breaths here. Inhale into your belly and exhale. And really inhale deeply into your belly and exhale. Yes. Now, when you take your next deep breath, your third deep breath, redirect your breath into your heart area. Maybe place a hand or two over your heart area to strengthen the focus on your heart. And now on your fourth breath, bring that breath in all the way from the earth, all the way through the soles of your feet. Bring it up through your legs, through your spine, all the way up to your heart area. Pause here for as long as it feels good, and then let that breath out through the top of your head, the top of your spine. Yes? And we'll do that again together so that you can do it calmly now that you've heard the instructions. So all the way up through your legs, breathe in through your legs, all the way up through your spine and to your heart area. Hold it here. Say thank you to your heart for keeping you alive and courageous. And then breathe out through the top of your head, through the crown of your head. And now we'll do it the opposite way. So you breathe in through the crown of your head, all the way into your heart. Thank it again. And breathe out through your legs, all the way down into the earth. Yes. And observe what this feels like. And maybe thank the earth for keeping you alive, for supporting you. Now, does it feel like your heart area is activated? Like your heart is more open to communicate with others, to connect with others? Yes? I don't know. Feel into it and observe what it feels like to you. Okay? Great. Let's move on. As you know, it's in your heart that you feel, that you access your intuition. Yeah. So when you bring the heart feeling to your affirmations, to your visualizations, the statements of what you want, then these affirmations and visualizations become heartfelt visualizations, heartfelt affirmations. And visualizations only become truly effective when you combine them with the corresponding feeling. The feeling that comes from your heart. As you know, and as science shows, there's an electromagnetic field that connects all humans, that connects us all, and that connects us also with all things. Anything that exists in the world and even in different dimensions is connected with this field. And it's connected with the past, the future, and the present. Sometimes it's really hard to imagine that for our human minds, but that's how it works. And science has now proven that and caught up with ancient knowledge. Now, what's interesting is that the heart's electrical field is 100 times as strong as the brain's electrical field. And the magnetic field of the heart can be up to 5,000 times stronger. You can easily find that information on the internet. These fields are a fact. They have been measured. So now, if all things are connected in this electromagnetic field, and the heart creates these very strong electromagnetic waves, then this means that the more you feel what you want with your heart, the easier it gets to attract these things. Yeah, the more you feel them before you have them, the easier it gets to make them a material and physical reality. Make sense? So as we said before, it's really key to add that heart feeling to your affirmations and visualizations. This will also show you if an affirmation sounds true to your subconscious programming. Because if you cannot feel it in your heart, your subconscious may be contradicting it. Yes, and in that case, you might want to try a question first, as we said before. Yes. So I also talk about these empowering what if questions in my book, Speak Up, Stand Out and Shine, and it's available on Amazon. If you want to go a little bit deeper with this content and many other ways to step into a self-empowering mindset, energetically, physically, or mentally, look it up. Speak Up, Stand Out and Shine. So now let's move on to talk about distinctive uniqueness. As you know, we're all different for a reason. This is no coincidence. We're currently about 7.7 billion people on this planet, and no one has your DNA. That's no accident. There's a deeper meaning behind this, yes? So no one has the same exact combination of backgrounds, talents, gifts, skills, stories, experiences as you have. And that's because we need you with all that you bring to the table. We need you on this planet. You are a unique piece in the big puzzle of humankind, in the big puzzle of diversity. And it's your responsibility to live your life in a way that does justice to this piece, this role that you have. And this again is about your purpose. So we need you to uncover your authentic brilliance, your very unique brilliance and genius, and your purpose, and to embrace all of this, to use it. That's what I call your distinctive uniqueness. We all have unique qualities, and I also call these unique qualities and strengths unique assets, because some of them are worth gold and they can lead to more money in your bank account if you use them consciously. Yes? But you have to dig them up. You have to be aware of them, uncover them, and then show them to us. Because it's not really of any use to have them without using them. And you use them to distinguish yourself. And if you want to be a leader, you have to go extra deep with your distinctive uniqueness. Because leaders don't blend in, ladies. Leaders stand out. And standing out requires courage. That's why we talk so much about heart set and about courage. Yes, it's so worth it. So you have to distinguish yourself as a leader so we can know whether we want to follow you. So we know what you stand for and how you can serve us. Because if you serve us as a leader, we will decide to follow you. Yes. So now take a moment to write down 5 unique qualities that distinguish you. Really pause this video for a moment to write them down. All right, so there's much more to this distinctive uniqueness piece, but we have limited time today together. So let's just move on to something that is very dear to my heart as well. Body and energy conscious presence. We all know that our body language has a huge impact on how others perceive us, right? This is about our gestures, our movement, our posture, our facial expressions, etc. But have you heard that it takes only 0.07 seconds for our brains to figure out if we can trust somebody. Have you ever heard that? 0.07 seconds to figure out whether we can trust someone. That's less than a blink of an eye. And that's our survival mechanism. That's about our energy. Yeah, because your energy speaks louder than your words and your gestures. And it speaks faster. And that's why when I talk about body conscious presence, it's not only about what we usually understand by body language. Body conscious presence is about feeling your body from the inside out, about being fully present in your body and in your energy. Because all we are is energy, but we tend to forget that and to focus on it. We don't really usually focus on it. And that means that we're missing out on a very substantial aspect of our business presence, of our meeting presence, negotiation presence, our leadership presence, our speaking presence. Yes. I learned a lot about being present in my body and my energy through my holistic studies. My holistic studies taught me about how it all works, how energy works, how it really gave me a deep understanding of how energy works. And I also learned about energy in dance, of course, because you need to be present in your body and in your energy to be able to dance together with somebody, to transmit and transfer energy, to transmit energy to the people that see you dance, maybe if you want that. Yes. So it's really about being present in your body and in your energy. And then, of course, there's science. So scientists have proven that we consist of energy. They have caught up with ancient knowledge, with what holistic healers have known all along. And oftentimes they were called woo-woo and all these different things because scientists didn't believe them, but now they have caught up. And they know that all we consist of is energy. Everything consists of is energy. Yes. So even an atom is no longer the smallest particle. That's what we believed for a long time. So it's really important to focus on our energy and to no longer ignore our energy so stubbornly. It means when we ignore our energy, it means we're ignoring our essence. Yeah, even our thoughts are energy, our beliefs are energy. For our conversation here, though, let's focus on our more common definition of energy, because that's what we want to work with. And that's that invisible force that's in us and around us. It surrounds us, it's in our aura, it goes beyond our aura, and it connects us with other people, with other things, with the world. And it comes with us wherever we go, just as our body does. Have you ever been to a networking event and it's crowded and everyone's chatting and all of a sudden there's that one person that walks into the room, and when she enters the room, everyone sees her without her saying a single word, just by her showing up. We call that sometimes charisma. Yeah, I call it presence. Some people naturally have it and naturally step into that charisma and that presence, but most of us have to practice it. We have to learn it. We don't have it naturally. Yeah. So it's important to focus on our presence so we can magnify it and become more visible in business. Because the people who are more visible get promoted more easily. They get clients more easily. They get remembered more easily. And people feel attracted to them more easily. They become more magnetic. So we can use it to our advantage in negotiations. Yeah, people remember us after meeting them, and we can also become more powerful speakers when we know how to optimize our presence, how to become more visible. But how do we do that? Well, today I'm going to teach you a simple tool that can allow you to tap into your inner power and access a way to enhance your perceived presence and to feel more confident at the same time. So it's double positive effect. Would you like to learn that? Ready? Okay then, just play along with me. Let's first start out by slouching in your chair and just observe what that feels like. Does this feel powerful? Probably not, right? It probably feels a bit contracted, maybe small. Now move into a more upright position and sit comfortably in your chair. Upright but relaxed, your shoulders relaxed, legs uncrossed, hands maybe resting on your thighs or on the chair you're sitting on, and important, shoulders relaxed. Yes? Now feel your feet grounded on the floor and observe if this feels like less contracted, more open than when you were slouching earlier. Observe if you feel supported by the floor, by the earth. Okay, so now close your eyes if you'd like. If that doesn't feel safe for any reason, find a gazing spot in front of you. Okay? Closing your eyes always helps. It helps us focus inward. Now take a couple of deep breaths. Inhale and exhale, and inhale and exhale. And now bring up the earth energy through the soles of your feet, all the way through your legs, similarly to what we did before. Breathe it up through your legs, all the way to the base of your spine. Take a moment here to feel supported. Then bring the energy up all the way to your solar plexus area. That's your stomach area. Yes, that's where you digest. This is where you can most easily access your confidence, your courage, your personal power. Well, the courage, as we said earlier, is also in your heart. But here in this area, it's the confidence. So ideally, we focus on both. Focus on the center of your body, this personal power center. Maybe place a hand or both hands on it, or maybe you want to place one hand there and one place on your hand, on your heart center. Yeah, so one on your solar plexus, one in your heart. And breathe deep into this personal power and the heart power centers. Where your attention goes, your energy flows. What you focus on expands. So allow your inner power to expand. Expand beyond your solar plexus area, beyond your body, into your aura, and beyond your aura. All the way your arms can reach, and all the way down to the floor, as if you were creating a huge power bubble all around you. Surround yourself with this power energy. This will not only raise your confidence and make you feel more powerful, it will also make you look more powerful, and it will enhance your perceived presence and your visibility, the way others see you. It can change the way you show up in the world, the way you show up at networking events, at speaking events, in meetings. And observe how you feel now. And open your eyes. If you're familiar with power posing, as Amy Cuddy describes it in her TED Talk, then you could add that here. You could add it on to this exercise. I personally love power dancing. It's a concept that I have developed for myself just because I love dancing and I'm a movement person. And I was interviewed about that by a journalist who is a Forbes contributor. You can find it on Forbes, or you could also find it on my website. So on my bio page, as you scroll down, there is a list of articles that I wrote, articles about me, by me, and also a series of interviews, podcast interviews, radio and TV interviews that are all free resources for you. So really check it out. It's all available there for free, and listen to or read whatever serves you, okay? And yeah, so the reason, as I said, why I prefer power dancing to power posing is just because I love dance and I'm a movement person, and you just should do what you feel you want to do. So what feels right to you, That's always the most powerful way. Okay? Okay, we're moving towards the end of this session. So you have several assignments to do. First, observe your thoughts. Turn your limiting, disempowering thoughts and emotions and beliefs into empowering, positive what-if questions. As I said before, it's not about suppressing your emotions, not about suppressing your feelings. They have a function. But if you feel that these feelings are not serving you right now, observe them and turn them around into something that serves you better. Yes? Second, uncover your unique assets, your unique qualities and natural strengths, your personal strengths, your unique stories and experiences, your very authentic brilliance and greatness and genius. And the way you can do this is you make a list of at least 50 of those, as I call them, unique assets. Yeah. So you can use all of this richness to drive your inspirational leadership, to benefit you in your business and in your career, and really take the time to make a list of at least 50 of these items. Maybe also, yeah, ask your colleagues, your team, your friends what they appreciate in you, and add those items to your list. And once you're done with your list, circle the most critical ones, the ones that make you stand out the most, the ones that are the most helpful and useful in your career. Also, think of your passions. Yes, add those to your list as well. And then focus on these strengths. Yes, keep growing in other areas as well. I know I said before, we have to also be aware of our shortcomings. We sometimes have to develop some areas in our lives, but don't focus so much on your weaknesses. Focus on your strengths. You're different for a reason. We are not supposed to be perfect. We're not supposed to be great at everything. There are other people who are great at those things that we are not great at. Yes? So really focus on strengths. Third, write your vision down if you haven't already and visualize it while feeling the feelings of success and happiness that you would feel if you had already achieved this vision, if you had already materialized your vision. Because remember, everything is created twice, first in your mind and then in physical reality, in material terms. If you already have a vision, a written vision, maybe it's time to review your vision. Because remember, your vision grows with you. Sometimes it changes. And that's totally fine. It can still serve you as your GPS, as your destination to where you want to go. But sometimes we want to change the direction in our lives, so which we see that there are other opportunities that are better than what we thought were our best opportunities in the past. So your vision might change with you. 4, heart set. Mindset is not enough. We must also develop our heart set. So tune into your heart every single morning as you wake up. Breathe into your heart area. Repeat the exercise that I taught you earlier. When you make an important decision, ask yourself, what does my heart want the most for myself? What do I want from the bottom of my heart? Yeah. Use your heart's intelligence to make important decisions. Yes, do your due diligence when it's appropriate, but then follow your intuition. Your inner being knows best what's good for you. The most logical decision is not always the best decision. Remember, our mind is limited through conditioning, through fears, all of that stuff. So also listen to your heart when you make important decisions. And then 5, connect to your inner power. Tap into that power in your solar plexus area and connect with it every single day, and especially before challenging situations, before challenging meetings, negotiations, whatever it is, difficult conversations. If you'd like to get some additional inspiration about how to prepare physically, mentally, and energetically for those challenging situations, check out my book on Amazon, Speak Up, Stand Out, and Shine. If that's not an option for you, just rewatch this video and do the exercises in it again and again. Okay, that's it from me today. Keep practicing. Get rid of those limiting beliefs and thought patterns. Work with your feelings, your emotions. Dig up your courage to stand out and to face your fears and do it anyway. We all have fears. Courage is not the absence of fear. Just do it anyway. Keep stepping deeper and deeper into your potential every single day. Use your leadership potential to inspire others. Use your natural strengths and your acquired skills to serve through leadership, to inspire others to step into their brilliance as well. Allow yourself to be free of limitations, and then use the responsibility that comes with this freedom to create the world that you want to live in, to be the change you want to see. And above all, always remember, you are limitless. You are limitless. Thank you so much for your attention. Let us know how this session serves you. My email is regina@transformyourperformance.com. And you also have Ruth's contact information. We'd love to hear from you, and we wish you only the best. And feel free to check out all the free resources on my website. There's a diversity and inclusion white paper for free download, and there are a lot of podcasts, articles on my blog page, on my bio page. As you scroll down, use what serves you. Yes, it's free. It's there for you. Again, I wish you the very, very best. Keep it going, and see you next time.